So with the empty Blender file, the first thing I really recommend to do is to prepare for modeling with setting up some reference. So right now I will just select all, press X and delete. And now I have some reference ready. So when I press 1 from front view and load up my images, you can find this in the description. You can download all the reference file and use them. First, you will see there's a reference front image. So let's just take this and drag this right into the Blender. Now release, and we will press Alt G to reset the location here. So this is the first thing we'll do. And now if you go to the object data properties here, you can modify the reference. Now I will enable transparency checkbox here and set the opacity to something like 0.1, really subtle, so we just see what we are doing, what we are aiming for. And now I will enable the side front and disable this in the perspective, because I really don't want to see this when we are rotating around our object. And now I will press Shift D to duplicate this, enter for confirming, and press R, Z and 90 degrees to rotate this. And now if we rotate to the side view by pressing number 3, you can see we have it here. And now I will just replace the image with the reference side. So here you can see the reference image loaded, and now we'll just hit open and click the reference side like this, and you can see we have replaced the image there. And now we'll drag a selection here, so we have both of those selected. Press G, Z and move this up so it sits on the 0 there. We can look from the front to have a better view what we are doing. And now we can press G, Z again and fine tune this a little bit. So yeah, something like this. This will be our reference setup. And now we can move this into a separate collection. So press M and select new collection. And we'll call this reference. And now let's click the filters here, enable manipulation, viewport and rendering, and we'll disable this for editing. So click this arrow here and we have our reference collection that we can enable, disable all the time, but it's not editable. And now we'll do the same thing for the other reference set of images. So if I navigate to my folder, there's a topology set. So let's drag in the topology reference, press Alt G to reset this, but you will see it doesn't match completely, so we'll have to adjust this, but not yet. First, I want to enable transparency as well and set this to 0.1 like before, or maybe something stronger so it's a little bit more visible. So let's try something like 0.3. And now we'll enable front, disable the perspective view. And the next thing I want to do is press Shift D, press R, Z and 180 degrees. And let's look from the back by pressing 9 right now. And we can replace this image by topology back. So this is the back side of the model. And now if we rotate to the side view, but first let's press Shift D and R, Z, and now we'll go minus 90 degrees. Let's go to the side view by pressing 3 on a numpad. And let's switch this to the side topology view. So we have our topology reference ready. And now select all of them. You will see here that they're selected. Now press M, move to the new collection, and let's call this topology. And now we'll try to match this. So with all of them selected, go to the front view by pressing 1 on the numpad, press G, Z, move this up. And let's scale this down so we approximately match our model. Remember, this doesn't have to be perfect. We just need to match the height of the character and the width of the character here. So maybe move this a little bit like this. Okay, I think we can work with this. maybe move it so it sits more on the axis here. And now I will do the same thing. I will disable this for editing and click the main collection here. So if we add a new object, it doesn't go into any of these locked collections. So right now, if we rotate the perspective view, there's nothing there. But if we look from the front, there's our reference and our topology reference from the side as well. And from the back, we have the topology as well. So we can better match the mesh I have in mind here. You don't have to use this if you want to really like explore the mesh on your own. If you want to learn from your mistakes a little bit better, then definitely you can turn off the topology and just try to repeat what you see on the screen. So whatever works best for you. And the topology reference is really here only because I really want you to get the final result you can see on the screen in the beginning of the episode. You don't have to strictly follow this, you know. As long as you have the result that you're satisfied with, everything's okay and the episode is successful. So yeah, this is the setting up the reference, and it was the last thing that we needed to do before actually starting creating the first vertices. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to it and let's model our first character.